Good morning, I'm Craig Negrelli. It's Monday, January 20th, 2025, and these are your Unbiased Updates. It's Inauguration Day. In just a matter of hours, Donald Trump will take the oath of office and be sworn in as the nation's 47th president. What he vows to do today when it comes to policy on day one. And the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas appears to be holding. The prisoner swap that took place over the weekend, and who's now free.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
This morning, in just a matter of hours, for the second time in our nation's history, the United States will see the inauguration of a former president for a non-consecutive second term, as Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, takes the oath of office to become the 47th president. Last week, the president-elect decided to move his inauguration ceremony indoors to the Capitol Rotunda due to the dangerously cold temperatures in Washington, D.C. This will be the first inauguration to be held indoors since Ronald Reagan's in 1985. According to a report this morning from the Wall Street Journal, previewing excerpts from the inaugural address, Donald Trump will call for, quote, a revolution of common sense. The Journal says Trump is expected to tell the American people the country is at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. The inauguration will be attended by outgoing President Joe Biden, as well as former Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. However, as has been publicized, former First Lady Michelle Obama will not be attending. Tech CEOs, including Tesla's Elon Musk, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Apple's Tim Cook, will also be in the crowd. Foreign leaders, such as Argentina's president, Italy's prime minister, and China's vice president, are also expected to attend. Country singer Carrie Underwood will be performing America the Beautiful, along with the Armed Forces Chorus and the U.S. Naval Academy Glee Club. Following his inauguration, reports say Donald Trump is expected to sign possibly as many as 100 executive orders, many of them at the Capitol following his swearing in. Trump's incoming White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Stephen Miller, told a small group of Republicans about the president-elect's plans during a phone briefing Sunday afternoon. Reports say Trump will focus on declaring a national emergency on the southern U.S. border and reversing some of President Biden's policies, including those concerning DEI and offshore drilling, and repealing rules on electric vehicles. Trump is also expected to sign more executive orders at the Capital One Arena, where the inaugural parade will take place. On Sunday, Trump held a Make America Great Again victory rally in that venue, where he told an estimated 20,000 people in attendance about his plans for day one.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home. We will be a free and proud nation once again, and that will take place tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Everyone in our country will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and also filled with a thing called the American dream that you don't hear much about anymore.
The nation will watch today as the inauguration ceremonies begin at noon Eastern Standard Time. Turning to the Middle East, where a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is now in effect, and humanitarian aid is flowing into the region. It started yesterday with a stop in the fighting in the war-torn enclave, with the Israeli military saying it has withdrawn from several locations. The exchange of hostages, some held by Hamas for the last 15 months, and Palestinian prisoners in Israeli custody, is also underway. The 3 Israelis released by Hamas so far are confirmed as 24-year-old Romi Gonen, 31-year-old Doron Steinbrecher, and 28-year-old Emily Damari. They've returned to Israel and are said to be in good health. They're the first of 33 captives Hamas is set to release over the course of the 6-week ceasefire. In exchange, Israel is releasing almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. That also started yesterday with 90 prisoners released. According to a list from the Palestinian Authority's Commission for Prisoners' Affairs, all of those released are women and teenagers. The youngest is 15. Despite warnings from the Israeli military, Palestinians turned out to celebrate their release in droves, with crowds surrounding the buses the freed prisoners were riding in after they left the prison. Displaced Palestinians have also started returning to their homes in Gaza, or what's left of them. In December, the United Nations reported that Israeli strikes damaged or destroyed more than 170,000 buildings, which is about 70% of Gaza's total infrastructure. Experts estimate that the reconstruction of Gaza could take years and cost billions of dollars. The war began on October 7th, 2023, when Hamas launched a terror attack on Israel, killing at least 1,200 people. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu then said Israel would retaliate with such force that it would crush Hamas and drive the terror group out of Gaza. After spending around 12 hours offline following a U.S. Supreme Court ruling, TikTok is back in the United States. The popular social media app became unusable for Americans late Saturday night into Sunday. Instead of videos, users who tried to access the app saw a message reading in part, quote, "A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S., unfortunately. This means you can't use TikTok for now." Early yesterday morning, President-elect Donald Trump said he would issue an executive order once he's inaugurated later today to delay enforcement of the law, which would force TikTok parent company ByteDance to sell the app or be banned in the United States. It appears that time extension would be for 90 days, with Trump saying he would like to see the United States have a 50% stake in the company. Within hours of that announcement, access to TikTok began to return for American users, with a message thanking users for their patience and support. More than 70 million Americans are under winter storm warnings as an Arctic blast is bringing some of the coldest temperatures so far this winter. Those temperatures drop below zero in parts of the upper Midwest, with wind chill temperatures falling to minus 20 in some areas. The cold front sweeping east into the mid-Atlantic and northeast just in time for Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. It's expected to be so cold there, as we mentioned earlier, the ceremony will now take place indoors, with President-elect Trump saying he did not want to see people hurt in any way due to the dangerous conditions. Snow and ice will be seen from New England to the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days, even in the south. Charleston, South Carolina could potentially see snow, and New Orleans is bracing for ice. Tonight, a champion will be crowned in college football in Atlanta, Georgia, as either Notre Dame, the 7th seed, or Ohio State, the 8th seed, will win the inaugural 12-team college football playoff. This will be the 9th meeting between these two storied teams, with Notre Dame looking for a bit of revenge. The Fighting Irish last defeated the Buckeyes in 1936. Ohio State has a powerful offense and is heavily favored. And while tonight is Championship Monday for college football, over in the NFL, Championship Sunday is all set after this past weekend's divisional round, and there were some dandies. On Saturday, the 6th-seeded Washington Commanders stunned the top-seeded Detroit Lions 45-31 to reach the NFC Championship game for the first time in 33 years. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the back-to-back defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, are in their 7th consecutive AFC title game after defeating the Houston Texans 23-14. Then on Sunday, in snowy and cold conditions, it came down to the final drives in both divisional games. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Los Angeles Rams 28-22 to advance to the NFC Championship game. And the Buffalo Bills are headed to the AFC title game after surviving a late rally by the Baltimore Ravens. The Bills got the 27-25 win after the Ravens scored with less than 2 minutes to go, but missed the 2-point conversion when the receiver dropped the ball. Only 4 teams remain as we get closer and closer to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Finally this morning, today is Inauguration Day. It is also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. the federal holiday honoring the late civil rights leader, and the only federal holiday designated as a national day of service. The youngest of King's 4 children, Bernice King, who is also the CEO of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change, said over the weekend, this time of transition in the United States is also a good time to remember the legacy of her father.
I think it's wonderful that this occurs on the King holiday, the inauguration, because it reminds us of King. It points us back to King. It says when we move forward, you all, we got to do it in the spirit of King. People talk about doing the work of Dr. King, but I always ask, are you doing it in the spirit of Dr. King? And the spirit of Dr. King is nonviolence. And nonviolence is not just a posture, it's a mindset. For us, we define it as a love-centered way of thinking, speaking, acting, and engaging that leads to personal, cultural, and societal transformation. So it works on you first. You have to be in the right frame of reference to fight these injustices so that you don't become like the unjust.
This will be just the 3rd time Inauguration Day falls on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The first was in 1997 for Bill Clinton's 2nd inauguration, and in 2013, the 2nd inauguration of Barack Obama. These are your Unbiased Updates for this Monday. A lot going on, that's for sure. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.